Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at pitching for today, the 22nd of August. It is Friday. We do have a 13 game main slate ahead of us this evening. We do have two games with some potential weather. One game mainly getting my target is Atlanta. That in-game risk being so high. And I've looked at a couple different places trying to compare numbers and notes. Um, Something that we're not really going to know a ton about until later the afternoon, just to see where some of these storms pop up. But kind of a big worry in Atlanta right now for pitching. Um, which is weird because Atlanta's facing Nolan McLean, who looked phenomenal in his debut. Somebody that I want to use tonight. So it is important we find out the timing. One of the big things that stood out to me is the drop in temperatures across the country. We are approaching September. I think our days of 90 plus degree weather for ball games is pretty much gone. Um, so we're going to start to see a little gear towards some pitching a little bit more, I do believe, at least from a weather standpoint. Wind wise, don't really have much. A little bit out in LA, out in Tampa Bay, the probably a good spot, but it is St. Louis in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay bat's probably in a great spot. Slightly out in Baltimore, that's very interesting. Philadelphia out, but that's on the earlier slate, not one we're touching here. A reminder that this is a first look at the pitching options, and I will be looking at DraftKings as that is where majority of my action is. If you play on FanDuel, I'll cut my pool in half or so. Pricing isn't quite as tight. You don't have to be as creative. It allows you to get the stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. All right, now that it's all said and done, Houston, Baltimore. I think both pitchers might be in play. Cade Povich, strikeout numbers are up recently. Walks are up. Looking like a major league pitcher again. Houston's bats woke up yesterday after being in a slumber for a while. Uh, I'm going to consider Povich, but I'm going to hope that I don't end up using him. I just don't like the spot against a very right-hand heavy lineup. Lance McCullers on the other side, I am interested a little bit. Uh, I read this yesterday that he did throw 80 pitches in his last rehab start. Uh, Looked pretty good. So coming back, he should be somewhat normal. Um, and we saw some of the upside that he had. Once he was back from his first injury, he's volatile. Yes, I get it, but I do like the upside that McCullers offers. Uh, Small sample, but his numbers on the road have been much stronger than at home. And that 8 home runs allowed in 22 innings at home is just ridiculous, uh, especially when he has such a strong strikeout rate. But I digress. He is on the road. I do think I want to utilize him. It's just somebody I can't quit, I guess, is a good way to look at it. Boston and the Yankees. Max Fried has looked atrocious for a little while. Um, one strong, one, I guess, really good start since the end of June. Just not great at all. Don't really know what's up. 3+ runs allowed in 8 straight starts. It's not ideal. He did dominate Boston the first time he faced them. Did give up a home run, but 9 strikeouts pretty strong for somebody like Fried. He's pitching at home where he has been at his best. I think I am going to sprinkle him in, but I don't want to be overweight on him by any means. Uh, just recent trends, he has not looked good. And I can't believe that he's just going to snap, turn around, and be dominant. So, um, being a being lighter on him probably shouldn't backfire. Famous last words, I get it. But on the other side, Brain Bayout, not somebody I'm going to get to, I don't think. Seeing how he dominated the Yankees the first time, though, was super interesting. Maybe I do have to consider him. I mean, the Yankees do have some strikeouts in their lineup, but they also do have home runs. Uh, and he's allowing a home run every 5 innings on the road. So 1.8 home run per nine. It's a pretty high number. His strikeouts kind of all over the place as well. I'm gonna guess I'm gonna include him in, but I don't. I'm not. I don't have much of a conviction on him either way, to be honest. Kansas City, Detroit. Casey Mize coming off of a great start against the Twins. Struck out 10. Easily his highest strikeout output of the season. Kansas City doesn't strike out all that much. He has made 2 starts against them. As you can see, just 7 strikeouts and 10 in a third. I think we can pass on Casey Mize. Ryan Berger, uh, 2 starts with, well, 3 starts with Kansas City, but the last two are really strong. 15 strikeouts in 11 innings. There is K upside in this particular matchup. With that said, I don't know if he's going to offer enough upside for us on a 13-game slate. So my initial plans is probably just to not play Berger, not play Mize in that game as well. Miami, Toronto. Gusto was pretty good with Houston. Uh, that might have been his best start of the season game against Toronto, and it was back in April. I'm just not sure that I can get there with Gusto. He hasn't pitched in 2 weeks. Was solid against Atlanta in his debut with Miami. Was strong in his last start with Houston as well. With that said, I just don't think he's going to go out and do it again. Uh, so I just don't see myself picking on Toronto with sorry about that, non elite type pitching. The other side, Shane Bieber making his Toronto debut and season debut. Long Tommy John rehab. Uh, Made 7 starts. Went 7 innings in his last rehab outing, 90 pitches, uh, which is great to see because we don't really have to guess on what kind of a ceiling he might offer coming back from injury because he's fully stretched out. Nothing's abbreviated about it. Miami, a weaker lineup overall. Not a huge K upside team, but especially without Stowers. But Shane Bieber is somebody I am going to include. I have been waiting on his return. Don't love the 9K price tag right out the gate, but I do think he's somebody we want to utilize tonight. Atlanta and the Mets, talking about the weather beforehand. Nolan McLean looked absolutely filthy in his debut. Some walk issues. That's worrisome. Couldn't complete 6 innings because of it. Atlanta obviously has been a disappointment. There are outs in that lineup. Obviously, it's a dangerous lineup, so it's not a slam dunk spot by any means, but he is somebody that I want to use. On the other side, Joey Wentz has actually been really good for the most part. Uh, 1 run or fewer in 3 out of his last 4. I think on like a 6 or 7 game slate, I might consider him, but on a 13 gamer, I just don't think we need to utilize him against the Mets. St. Louis, Tampa Bay, probably passing on everybody. Hauser was pretty good his last time out. That was in San Francisco. St. Louis just doesn't strike out all that much. And obviously, this ballpark, not the best for pitching. Minnesota and the White Sox. Savali had some strong starts, and then the last couple have been pretty bad. He does get a weaker Minnesota team. He's somebody I'm considering, in my head at least. Excuse me. We do know what kind of upside he offers. Like he recently just had that upside, averaging around 27 fantasy points per start over a 3-start stretch. So I do think I'm going to utilize him. Zebby Matthews on the other side, I do love the upside. Super volatile. I would suggest stacking some White Sox. But with that said, when it comes together, like he obviously put up 30 against Washington. Like he has the upside. He's just volatile, home runs, some walks, etc. But he's somebody I want to use for large field GPPs. Cleveland, Texas, definitely using Evalde, just always at this point. Had a little blip here against Arizona, but he's been super steady. Overall, Cleveland lineup not worrisome at all. Big big difference in his fantasy points on a home road, but at home he's still been really good. Slade Ciccone, somebody that we've used a couple different times. Recent trends not the greatest for him. I think I'm just gonna pass. Hasn't really been showing much for K upside either, so I think it's kind of an easy pass on a 13 game slate. San Fran, Milwaukee, Wizenhunt, young arm, volatile, walks, home runs. Not the best spot against a Milwaukee team. Quintana on the other side, decent, but he's much better on the road. Doesn't really have a whole lot of a ceiling, so I think I'm going to end up passing on Quintana, even though I don't mind picking on San Francisco. Cubs, Angels, just not going to be interested. Like I like Ben Brown long term. Like he's got a lot of talent, super volatile, and might only throw 65 pitches or so. Not really something I'm interested in on a 13 gamer. Tyler Anderson can randomly have strong performances, so that is the worry. But as of right now, the Cubs are going to be one of the most popular stacks. And while they have struggled, I just don't think I want to rely on Tyler Anderson to shut them down. Cincinnati, Arizona, Zach Littell and Ryan Nelson. Littell's first start with Cincinnati was dominant. Last start was pretty good, but he just doesn't have a ton of K upside. With that said, I do think that this is a decent matchup for him. Um, so it's somebody that I want to rely on. Big issue here, 27 home runs allowed on the season. That is something that worries me, but uh, I'm willing to take that chance just because I think he could have a pretty strong performance. On the other side, Ryan Nelson struggled with Cincinnati the first time he faced them, but his numbers at home are phenomenal, and that's where he's at. So I am playing home split Ryan Nelson on this slate. Dodgers, Padres. Blake Snell was pretty strong against this Padres team. Not a ton of K upside against them. His Ks have been all over the place. 3 starts of 3 or less on the season. 2 starts of 8 or more. That's the kind of performance we need for our GPPs, though. So he's somebody that I will be using. I don't want to go super heavy and super overweight on him, but I want that upside in my player pool. If I had to guess, I'd probably aim for around 20 to 25% of them. I'm not really sure what the ownerships are yet. We don't have those yet, but it's definitely somebody I want to utilize. The other side, Yu Darvish. I don't know that I'm going to get to you, but I am interested. 2 of his last 4 starts have been 25 plus fantasy points. So that start against the Dodgers wasn't the greatest. Home runs could be an issue. But he is somebody that I think can perform strong enough, especially at home, where he's been at his best. Last game on the slate, the A's and Mariners. Brian Hu at home is just somebody that we're going to utilize. I don't care. Kind of all over the place in his 3 starts against the A's. But at home, just super dominant. Great ballpark for him to pitch in. So he's somebody I'm utilizing for sure. Luis Morales on the other side, starting to get stretched out. 87 pitches last time out. Pretty decent performance. Has a ton of K upside, but he is super volatile. There can be a lot of walks. But there is somebody that I'm looking to use this evening. But there we have it. There's our first look at pitching. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc. I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And there will be a link to this merch store. You can check out my hoodie. Let me know what your thoughts are on the merch store. And as always, best of luck, everybody.